So I did something kind of insane. I gave an AI exactly $1. One single crumpled, sad little dollar bill. And I asked it one question: can you turn this into 100? And here's the thing. I wasn't expecting a business plan. I wasn't expecting a stock tip. I was expecting the AI to basically shrug at me in text form and say, buy a lottery ticket, good luck. Because let's be honest, you've probably had this thought before. You look at a dollar in your wallet and think, that's basically nothing. It can't even buy a candy bar most places anymore. So how on earth is $1 supposed to become 100? But what the AI actually told me to do broke my brain a little. And by the end of this, you're going to look at your own pocket change completely differently. Let's start with the problem, because the problem is bigger than it sounds. $1 is, financially speaking, almost worthless. You can't invest it. Most brokers require way more. You can't start a business with it. Even a lemonade stand needs cups. You can't gamble it meaningfully. You'd need thousands of bets to turn $1 into 100 through pure luck, and the odds of that happening are worse than getting struck by lightning while holding a winning raffle ticket twice. So mathematically, turning $1 into 100 isn't a money problem. It's a 100 times problem. That's a 10,000% return. For comparison, even legendary investors like Warren Buffett average around 20% a year. At that rate, growing $1 into 100 would take you roughly 25 years. 25 years for $1. So yeah, this wasn't going to be easy. And I think this is where most people would just give up, say it's impossible, put the dollar back in their wallet and go make a sandwich. But here's the part nobody talks about. The AI didn't try to make money with the dollar. It tried to make money because of the dollar. And that distinction changes everything. Let me explain. Instead of investing the dollar, the AI told me to use it as bait, as a tiny physical prop to kickstart something bigger. Its first idea: buy a single item from a dollar store, literally any small object, and try to resell it online for a profit. Not for huge money, just enough to double it, $2. Then take those $2 and do it again and again. Picture this like a snowball rolling down a hill. At the top, it's tiny. You could hold it in one hand. But every roll down the slope, it picks up more snow. By the bottom, it's not a snowball anymore. It's basically a boulder that could flatten a garden shed. That's compounding. That's the entire secret. Not one big win. Dozens of tiny wins stacked on top of each other. But this wasn't even the biggest problem I ran into. Because reselling items, even cheap ones, takes time. Photos, listings, shipping, waiting for buyers. If I wanted $100 fast, flipping dollar store trinkets one at a time was going to take forever, like watch paint dry while also watching grass grow levels of forever. So the AI pivoted. Its second suggestion was smarter. Don't sell objects, sell effort. Use the $1 to print a single flyer or post one ad offering a tiny service, something like a 5-minute task, proofreading a sentence, writing a cheesy pickup line, drawing a stick figure portrait. Literally anything absurd enough to be funny, cheap enough to be a no-brainer for a stranger to pay for, and fast enough to repeat 50 times in a day. And this is where things get even stranger, because the AI wasn't optimizing for the biggest possible payout. It was optimizing for repeatable, tiny wins, like a video game character grinding easy quests instead of attempting the final boss on level 1. Here's a surprising fact that stopped me in my tracks. Most self-made millionaires didn't get rich from one lucky break. Statistically, the average self-made millionaire has had around 7 different streams of income before hitting that number. Not one genius idea, 7 boring, unglamorous little ones stacked together. Your $1 experiment wasn't missing a genius idea, it was missing volume. Now here's the real reason this whole challenge is so hard, and honestly, it's not the one I expected walking into this. It's not actually about money strategy at all. It's psychology. Most people who are handed $1 and told to grow it either freeze up because the goal feels impossibly small, or they overreach and try something risky, like putting it on a single number in roulette. Both reactions come from the same place: impatience. We're wired to want the dividend now, not in 50 tiny steps. Imagine being handed a single Lego brick and told you're building a castle. Most people would just stare at it, insisting one brick isn't enough to start. But it is enough to start, it's just not enough to finish in one move. So how did humans, and apparently the AI, actually solve this? Turns out, the answer is disturbingly simple. Reinvest everything, every single time, no matter how small the win. The AI's plan wasn't clever in a flashy way, it was clever in a patient way. Dollar becomes $2, 2 becomes 5, 5 becomes 12. Somewhere around round 6 or 7, the numbers stop looking pathetic and start looking like an actual small business. And by round 10, you're not scraping by anymore. You've crossed into the wait. This is actually working territory. Here's a fact that might mess with your head a little. If you could genuinely double your money just 20 times in a row, starting from $1, you wouldn't have $100, you'd have over $1 million. $1, 20 doublings, over $1 million. That's why banks, casinos, and every AI stock market bro on the internet are all obsessed with the same concept. The exponential curve is quietly one of the most powerful forces in the world, and almost nobody respects it until it's too late. So, what do most modern people get wrong about money and small starts? They think a small amount of money is a small opportunity. It's not. It's a small experiment. The dollar was never the point. The system built around the dollar was the point. The habit of turning something into something slightly bigger, over and over, without giving up the moment it feels boring or slow. Most people quit at step 2. The dollar becomes $2, they get bored and they buy a coffee with it. Congratulations, you just spent your future $100 on a latte. And here's a plot twist that genuinely caught me off guard. The AI admitted flat out that turning $1 into $100 wasn't really about money strategy at all. It was a test of consistency. Anyone with basic math skills could design the plan. The actual hard part, the part almost nobody survives, is doing the boring, repetitive, unglamorous version of the plan 15 or 20 times in a row without quitting. Which brings us to the big lesson, and honestly, it's not the one I expected walking into this. We tend to treat wealth like it's a single lightning strike moment, one lucky idea, one viral post, one jackpot. But almost every real success story is actually just compounding. Small decisions, repeated relentlessly, quietly turning into something enormous while nobody's watching closely enough to notice the curve bending upward. So if you're sitting there right now with, I don't know, a single crumpled dollar in your pocket, or spare change rattling around your car, or an idea you've been too embarrassed to start because it feels too small, maybe the problem was never the size of the start. Maybe the problem was that you were waiting for the dollar to feel like $100 before you were willing to believe in it. It never will. Not on day one. That's the whole trick. So would you actually try this? Would you take a single dollar, follow an AI's plan, and grind it out round by round just to see where it lands? Let me know down in the comments, because next time I'm actually going to attempt this challenge for real, and trust me, you're going to want to see how far $1 can actually go.